Hare Krishna. How things happen. We got 5 minutes? No, 5 minutes. Let me bring the board. Hold on. Don't blow yet. Oh, you got 2 minutes. Hare. Prabhu, can you bring our stand for me? You ready? Sure. Okay. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaho Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschachari Satarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschachari Satarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna
Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu Nityananda Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Primo! Everybody chant. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Ready?
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Everybody, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribol. Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Govinda, Radha Syamasundar, Radha Madhava. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radha. Jaya Radha Syamasundar Radha Syamasundar Shri Radhe. Jaya Gora Hari Gora Hari Gora Hari Jaya Gora Hari. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Gora Hariba, 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 Gora Hariba. Nitai Gora Hariba, 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 Gora Hariba. Gaura Premanandi. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Privrajikacharya Asto Tarasata Sri Shrimad. His Divine Grace, ISKCON founder Acharya Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Privrajikacharya Asto Tarasata Sri Shrimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindi Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT founder Acharya Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se go Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath, Shyamakunda Radha Kundi Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Ki Jai, Jamuna Maya Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Jaggi Ki Jai, Brihat Badangi Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Syamasundar Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai, Vaishnav Sangha Ki Jai, Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories. Shri Shri Guru and Gananga Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai.
I'm just kidding. Okay, no. Namaste Narasingaya. Pranadana Hine. Hiranyakashi Purvaksha. Shilatankana Kalaye. Ito Narshinga Parato Narshinga. Yato yato yamita dona shinga. Bahir na shinga, hridaye na shinga. Na shinga madhim sharana prapadir. Tavakara kamala varena paka adbhuta shinga dalita hiranyakashipu tanu bringa keshavadita Naraharupa Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Nrsingadev, 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 Jaya Nrsingadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, प्रहलाद महाराज की की जय.
Hare Krishna. Can everybody stay seated until we finish the announcements? Shyam Prabhu is going to guide everybody, right? Prabhu is.
Sunday.
Okay. On behalf of ISKCON founder Acharya, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, I would like to welcome all of you to ISKCON Naperville. Is there anyone here for the first time? Can I see a show of hands? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's quite a few people here. Welcome to ISKCON Naperville. Thank you all for coming. And that too at -8-degree temperatures. You all braved your way through, somehow or other you reached here, and we are very happy to have you here today. And I know that our Anuja, Dr. Anuja Gupta, just landed from India, and her friends and acquaintances are here, I'm assuming, right? They're all here, and I do not know who is who, but I just wanted to extend my warm welcome to all of you, very specially, because I know Anuja was wanting to bring everyone here for quite some time, and we are very, very happy to have you, Anuja, back, as well as all your friends. Thank you all for coming. We are really, really happy. And you should be happy too, because today we have with us our governing body commissioner, His Grace Anuttama Das Prabhu. Please give a big hand to Prabhu. And I don't have enough words to express my gratitude to Anuttama Das Prabhu. He also came all the way from DC, braving this weather and all that. And we are fortunate to have him here as today's Sunday feast speaker, which is very, very rare opportunity for us. And so, since most of you probably never met Prabhu, I'll give a brief introduction. His Grace Anuttama Das Prabhu was initiated by Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan, India in 1976. Anuttama Das Prabhu began serving as the leader of BBT book distribution. BBT means Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. And later he became president of Denver Temple, the same Colorado ashram he had visited in 1975. Then he relocated to Washington, D.C. in 1993. Anuttama Das Prabhu has been a member of GBC since 2000. His vision for the future of ISKCON is that it will mature and grow to be a respected and influential culture and religion around the world. Today, Anuttama Das Prabhu will be speaking on the topic of Krishna consciousness, how to incorporate that in your life. And my understanding is probably the class itself will be more shorter but more interactive. So you be prepared to ask any questions and get answers from Prabhu, because this is a very rare opportunity. It will be wonderful. And once again, thank you for coming. It will be great if everybody the men can move towards that side and women towards this side. And this way will not work. We have to sit this way on that side. And those who cannot sit on the floor can sit on the chairs.
Thank you all. We have plenty of chairs on the back, so please make yourself comfortable. And just sit wherever you can. So Anjay ji, chairs वगैरह मैंने लगा के रखा. You can sit over. और यहाँ सामने है जी, हैं? सामने. जी.
I live in Washington, D.C., and it's very nice outside, even in January. And sometimes some of the members go outside during the lecture, but here it's 3 degrees below zero, so I take my hat off to the Chicago devotees that go outside to sit in the cold. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jara Ballava Girivadadari Gopi Jara Ballava Girivadadari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Shri Radha Madhava ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanandi. Hare Krishna. So it's nice to see everybody. I was raised in Detroit, then I moved to Colorado, where it also snows, both places. And then I moved to Washington. Washington is the kind of place. Anybody ever lived in Washington, D.C.? The first year we moved to Washington, one day they said all the government offices are closed. all the schools are closed because it's going to snow tomorrow. And it never snowed. But everything was closed. And I was thinking, these people don't understand snow. Snow is like when you go out snowboarding and you go skiing and you go ice skating, and why don't they understand any of this? But they didn't understand. So it's nice to meet. I was noticing today, it's so beautiful. Actually, it's cold, but when the sun's out and there's so much snow on the ground, it's beautiful. Actually, it's much brighter. If you live in a place where winter comes and it's just cloudy and there's no snow to reflect the sunlight, it's nowhere near as nice. So Krishna sends us the sunlight to make our lives more pleasant. So I was going to read a little bit from a book written by Rupa Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis, disciples of Lord Chaitanya, followers of Lord Chaitanya. We're known as Gaudiya Vaishnavas. We are followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is one of the principal texts that Rupa Goswami wrote, called The Nectar of Instruction, or the Upadesh Amrita. So, it's a long purport, so I'll just read part of the purport. Offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasadam, spiritual sanctified food, and offering prasadam are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami explains how to perform devotional service or bhakti in the association of other devotees. Even in ordinary activities, or ordinary social activities, these 6 types of dealings between 2 loving friends are absolutely necessary. For instance, when one businessman wishes to contact another, he or she arranges a feast in a hotel, and over the feast they openly express what they wish to do. He then inquires from his business friend how he should act, and sometimes presents are exchanged. Thus, whenever there is a dealing of priti, or love, in intimate dealings, these 6 activities are executed. In the previous verse, Rupa Goswami advised that one should renounce worldly association and keep company with the devotees, Sangat Tyagat Sato Vrite. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness, of which this temple is one of 800 temples around the world, has been established to facilitate these 6 kinds of loving exchanges between devotees. So if somebody asks you, is up on the board, are they able to follow? I'm jumping around the purport a little bit, okay? I didn't know it was on the board. I would have slowed down. To continue, Prabhupada says, the society was started single-handedly, but because people are coming forward and experiencing the give and take policy, the society is now expanding all over the world. We're glad that people are donating very liberally to the development of the society's activities, and people are also eagerly accepting whatever humble contribution we are giving them in the shape of books and magazines dealing strictly with the subject matter of Krishna consciousness. We sometimes hold Hare Krishna festivals and invite life members and friends to participate in the feasting by accepting prasad. Although most of our members come from the higher rungs of society, they nonetheless come and take whatever little prasad we are able to offer them. Sometimes the members and supporters inquire very confidentially about the methods of performing devotional service, and we try to explain this. In this way, our society is successfully spreading all over the world, and the intelligentsia of all countries is gradually appreciating our Krishna conscious activities. The life of the Krishna consciousness society is nourished by these 6 types of loving exchange among the members. Therefore, people must be given the chance to associate with the devotees of ISKCON, because simply by reciprocating in the 6 ways mentioned above, an ordinary man can fully revive his dormant Krishna consciousness. In the Bhagavad Gita 262, it is stated, Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha. One's desires and ambitions develop according to the company one keeps. It is often said that a man is known by his company. And if an ordinary man associates with devotees, he will certainly develop his dormant Krishna consciousness. The understanding of Krishna consciousness is innate in every living entity, and it is already developed to some extent when the living entity takes a human body. It is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nityasiddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Karunaya Shravanadi Shuddha Chete Karya Udaya. Pure love for Krishna, or God, is eternally established in the hearts of living entities. It is not something to be gained from another source. When the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, this love naturally awakens. We'll stop there. Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, it's nice to be here. Thank you all for being here. Much appreciated. As Prabhupada is describing here, we come together to understand how to purify our hearts and awaken our Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada uses this nice expression. He says this ISKCON society is built on this give and take policy. So our ISKCON society, or these temple communities that have developed, we're part of the Brahma Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, very ancient lineage of Vaishnavism, or service to Krishna, particularly inspired by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the 15th and 16th century avatar and saint who distributed the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra all over India, sent his disciples from there through the generations all around the world, and Srila Prabhupada, whose murti is seated here, came to the West in 1965, and in 11 years traveled around the globe about 14 times, and opened about 100 temples, which in the last 45 years or so have grown to 800, continuing to grow. This temple was opened, last year, 2 years ago? Last year, right? Just last year. And there's a new temple in Parsippany, New Jersey that's opening. In a couple of years, Washington, D.C., a very beautiful big temple's opening in a couple of months. There's a temple coming up in Columbus, Ohio, and that's just a few things on the East Coast, and so many temples in other parts of the world. So why? Why is it growing? We would say, Prabhupada's saying here, the society is growing because of this give and take policy, this philosophy. So in one sense, you could say ISKCON is a mutual aid society. I think that's actually the name of an organization. I'm not sure. I was trying to remember. But the mood is there, a mutual aid society. So we are a community of people who are dedicated to each other's mutual benefit, particularly our spiritual benefit. And we all have a role to play in that. And in what Prabhupada described in his introduction to the Srimad Bhagavatam, he says our society is actually meant, in the literatures we distribute and share with people around the world, are meant to help bring about a re-spiritualization and a cultural re-spiritualization of what he describes as a misguided materialistic society. So our kind of basic premise is modern society is somewhat misguided. Now someone may think, I don't necessarily agree with that. That proves you don't live in Washington, D.C. If you lived in Washington, D.C., or you read about what goes on in Washington, D.C., you would agree ours is a very misguided civilization. At least some of the leaders think the others are misguided, and the rest of the leaders think they're misguided. So at least they all agree that everybody's misguided except for me. That's the natural tendency. But we say misguided in the sense that, with this tremendous progress, economic development and technological progress in so many ways. But we would question, based on our Shastra and the teachings of the Acharyas, is it real progress when the Surgeon General of the country declares there's an epidemic of loneliness? How are we making progress if there's an epidemic of loneliness? How is it that we're making progress if we read that the divorce rate in the country is over 50%? People come together in a church or a temple or a mosque or gurdwara or whatever in front of the civil judge and say, I want to spend the rest of my life with you and serving you. And then sadly, a few years later, they're in court fighting over the assets. And in court, not that we're completely exempt from these things because we live in this environment, but just philosophically to think about what's going on. Does society perhaps need a little help when we see major conflicts in the holy places of the world? Is something not wrong there? But we see major conflicts between peoples that for centuries were neighbors, if not part of the same country or certainly the same tradition, speak the same language, worship the same way, and they're killing each other over who owns this land and who owns that land. So in this way, those are just a few examples. Just a few examples. So therefore, that would give us some impetus to think, well, maybe society is a little misguided, and therefore our acharyas teach us, our spiritual authorities, our mentors, they teach us that actually we need to refocus. So the ISKCON society is based on this principle of it's a society, it's a community of people and of communities of community. It's a community of communities around the world, understanding that we all have our individual talents and we all can contribute to changing the world. This is the enthusiasm that we have, that we actually can change ourselves into being better people. We can change our families into being more happy, more directed, more cooperative families. We can transform our communities. And all of us have different talents that we can offer for that, even in very simple ways. Some of us like to sing. You come here, you can sing. Wow, it's like, am I qualified enough to take in this process? Well, do you like to sing? Yeah. Do you sing in tune? No, that's okay. We don't mind. Just come and sing. Just come and sing. I know some people in our congregations I think it was here, it was one member of the community who was telling me that she started coming to ISKCON just because she liked to dance. It was the only place she could dance. And she just kept coming and dancing. Eventually it was like, who am I dancing in front of anyway? You know? And that food that you feed after I get tired, that's pretty good. Is there something, it seems some special taste to that food, etc. And I know there's a devotee member of ISKCON in Utah. He's a professor at Utah State University, and he started coming to ISKCON. He didn't really like to come to the temple. He wasn't a particularly spiritual, religious person, but he liked to cook. And he saw these people are cooking all the time, so can I help cook? And ISKCON tradition, yes, cut some vegetables. You kind of earn your stripes. You cut vegetables, wash a few pots, and after some time, he started really appreciating. Now he's a very active leader of our temple in Salt Lake City. So some can sing, some can dance, some like to organize, some like to cook, some are very attracted to the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. I was in Denver, Colorado about a year and a half ago, and there was one young woman who was particularly really enthusiastic during kirtan. So I happened to have a chance to talk to her. It was a Western young woman. I had opportunity to talk to her after the kirtan. And she was telling me how she loved kirtan and she'd been coming to the temple for so many months. It was wonderful. She looked forward to Saturday or Sunday. And I mentioned her, I said, well, a reason that the kirtan is so wonderful because Krishna's name is not different from Krishna. It's not different from God. And she said, I don't believe in God. Just like that, which set me back for a moment or two. And I was trying to think, wait a minute, she loves the kirtan. She's been coming here. She likes to dance, but she doesn't believe in God. I was like, okay, that's fine. We have an open door policy here. There's no barriers. There's different things. We may be attracted to different ways of coming to Krishna and serving Krishna, and that's all okay. That's our tradition. That's our policy. In the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you offer and give away, whatever austerities you may perform, do that as an offering unto me. So whatever you do it for Krishna. That's our simple philosophy. If you read the pastimes or the history of Prabhupada when he first came to America, he opened a little storefront temple in New York City in the mid-'60s. A lot of eccentric young people coming. They used to be called hippies. There was one interview when Prabhupada later went to San Francisco, and the reporter said, you seem to be drawing a lot of followers among the hippies. Can you tell us exactly what is a hippie? And Prabhupada smiled. He looked at me. He said, you know better than I do. So, that just happened to be the group of people that came forward. But open door policy describes it at this 26 2nd Avenue temple. One unusual thing, somebody found the insides of a piano that was, I don't know what the insides of a piano means exactly, but it still worked. And they brought it to the little temple so people would join in the kirtan. And Prabhupada was very happy to have them play. Whatever you can do for Krishna, that's okay, you do that. So, this open door policy that ISKCON is founded on, this is not just some new thing, it's not some liberal thing, it's not some American thing, it's actually our whole history of our society. It's described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is a Bengali text, scripture, about Lord Chaitanya, who we understand is Krishna, who came in this age of Kali Yuga to particularly teach the process of bhakti and chanting. It's described that he and Lord Nityananda, his principal associate, the analogy is given, they broke open the storehouse of love of God and distributed it liberally, and they made no discrimination who was fit and who was an unfit candidate. That's like our founder. Of course, the tradition goes back to Krishna 5,000 years ago or so, but the person who kind of revitalized it, gave it new energy for this age was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His principle was no discrimination. That was his principle. In a time in India, there was a lot of discrimination. This was, again, 16th century Bengal, a lot of discrimination. So you might ask, well, how was that received? Not very well. You know, those of us that know the history, he was going out in public. He publicly invited people to come out and join in this chanting. Anyone can chant the names of God. That was his teaching. Doesn't matter high caste, low caste, this, that, no discrimination. Anyone can come forward. So, as has happened multiple times in history in different traditions, including ours, the local priestly class of people, they didn't like that. Well, wait a minute, we've got all the power. You have to come to us to worship God. You know, only we can do the pujas. Only we have the keys to the temple or the church. You can't just give this to anybody and everybody. So what do? Happened to be a Muslim government, not even a Hindu government. They went to the Muslim government and said, these Hindu guys, this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is making trouble for us. He's threatening our social status. You need to stop it. So the Chankazi, the Muslim ruler of that area, said, okay, I guess so. You're all complaining about him. What do I know about Hindu teaching? You know, this, we'll shut it down. So they went out, they sent their soldiers out, and they broke the drums, and they threatened them, you stop this right now or you're in big trouble. So what did Lord Chaitanya do? He started what some people say is the first civil disobedience movement in history, way before, right? Martin Luther King Day is tomorrow, way before Martin Luther King. Similar idea. He organized thousands of people chanting. They went to the home of the Chankazi and said, Chankazi, we need to talk about this. We don't like this order that you say we have to discriminate between people, that we can't freely distribute love of God around the world, that we can't tell everybody, you're not high, you're not low, you're a devotee of God, you're a spirit soul. Doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, born in this family, that family, you're a child of God, and we want everybody to take advantage of this process of purifying their heart. We don't like the fact that you shut this down. And by the way, I've got thousands of people out there behind me, and I think you need to consider this. With a big smile. And he had a nice conversation with the Chankazi, and the Chankazi declared, okay, we're not going to stop this ever again, and none of my descendants should ever stop this. That's how much he was impacted by Lord Chaitanya's tradition. And it goes forward. Prabhupada's guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, later in the early 20th century, he continued this mood and this movement, and he was particularly, maybe even going a step further, he was actually giving diksha, giving initiation, making brahmanas, again, in an Indian context, out of lower caste people. Once again, the people in power, they didn't like that. This is a threat. You can't do that. These people are going to come in, they're going to say they're equal to us and all of these things. So what happened there? Did they like it? They didn't like it. He even went to Vrindavan, the most holy place for Krishna Bhaktas. They went to Vrindavan on a pilgrimage. What happened? They closed the doors of the temples. They wouldn't let them come in. And later on, at one point, a police officer approached Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and told him, you should be careful because people are coming to us saying they're going to try to assassinate you and they want to pay me as a policeman to look the other way. And he actually told them, sometimes, we do things that aren't so moral, but in this case, not against a sadhu. So just you take care. That's the kind of response he had. Srila Prabhupada took it one step further. He came to North America, New York, Lower East Side in the 60s. Talk about people that are like, how far can you be from sattvic lifestyle than what was happening in those era of the mid-60s? Prabhupada came right in the heart of that by Krishna's arrangement, and he said, there's no barrier. Anyone can take advantage of this. Men, women, Hindu, Jewish, Christian, atheist, educated, uneducated, everybody can come forward. You chant this Mahamantra, eat this sanctified food, dance, hear from Bhagavad Gita, begin practicing bhakti, and your whole life can be transformed. Prabhupada was also criticized. There's actually recordings on the floor of the parliament, the Lok Sabha in India. People were saying, Because then Prabhupada brought some of his disciples back to India. They were questioning, is this CIA? It's true. They were, is this CIA? How is it possible all these Western people are giving up all they're not eating meat, they quit drinking, they quit doing so many things that American people tend to do. They gave that all up, and now they're coming to India and they're worshiping Krishna. They must be spies. Of course, as far as I know, none of us were spies. At least I wasn't a spy. I don't think there were any spies, but either way, it was changing people's hearts, but they couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. And a lot of people criticized. They said, Prabhupada, he's just attracting so many low-class people. Krishna consciousness, there's no high class, there's no low class. That's the basic principle. We're spirit. First teaching in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, you're not that body. And from there, the whole philosophy is developed. So, as a community, just how do we bring this forward to today? We have to keep first and foremost in our minds that the culture, the ethos, the principles of Krishna consciousness or bhakti given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, continued on by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, going way back to Krishna and his teaching, said the same thing, you're not the body. This culture needs to remain very strong within our community. Because there's a tendency in this world to discriminate, isn't it? The world's full of discrimination. I just was downtown at a yoga center in Washington, D.C. just the other day, gave a class. I walked home, there was this big, beautiful church, and I stopped to take a picture of the church, and then as I took a picture of the church, it was a Baptist church, really beautiful, big stained glass, had big letters, Black Lives Mattered. I hadn't seen that in a while. I was thinking, oh, I'm in an area town. Why do they need that banner? Because they felt, and they've been, discriminated against, persecuted against for so many centuries, so they got to make that statement. So we live in a world full of that. We live in a world full of that. And spiritual life means we're trying to give that up and actually learn to see each other as Krishna sees us, which is we're all equal in his eyes. We're his children. We're all God's children, as the English expression goes. So, as devotees, it's important that we keep this mood going among ourselves. That I know Romapad Swami was here for some time and gave a series of seminars and classes, I believe, on humility. So humility means if I'm actually cultivating humility, then I have to welcome others. As soon as I start thinking, oh, you're a new person, I'm a senior person, then I've lost my humility. As soon as I think I'm a knowledgeable person, you don't know anything, I've lost my humility. As soon as I may even think, I'm a better person because of whatever, I've been coming to this temple for 4 years, 3 months, and 22 days, and you've been coming for 4 years, 2 months, and 11 days. I am so much senior to you. You should listen to what I said. That is, it's gone. We've lost the mood. So when we come here, we should all take advantage of this open door policy. This is the culture of ISKCON. This is the culture of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. Prabhupada said it's very simple. You dance, you chant, you take prasadam, we listen to Krishna Katha. Whatever time we have, we try to read Prabhupada's books. We try to render some service. There's always opportunities for service in the community. If we can, we have this beautiful building here, which was built by all of you. We contribute financially. We help organize festivals. We can bring flowers for the deities. We can offer fruit to the deities. We can volunteer the temple development. There's food for life. So many things that we can do, however we're inspired, and there's no discrimination that one is higher than the other. Prabhupada actually gave a lecture one time. We have to be careful we don't misunderstand it. But he was sitting on the Vyasasana. He said, the deity's made of marble. He was in a temple where the floor was marble. He said, this is also marble. So that you worship Krishna there, or if you clean the marble here, there's no difference. Now, not that we are not impersonalists. The deity is the full manifestation of Krishna. The floor is marble. But the point being, it's all Krishna's energy. Anything and everything we do can be offered in devotion to the Lord. And therefore, Krishna says to the Gita, offer me a fruit, a flower, a leaf, or water, I'll accept it. That's pretty gracious. I mean, some of you are all of you are very sophisticated people. If somebody came to your house on Diwali, let's say, or in other cultures, maybe Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever, knocked at your door, you came to the door, as is the tradition, people bring you presents, and they say, hi, I brought you some water from my tap. Would you be impressed? No, thank you. You're right. That's the right answer. Thank you. You should sit up here and help me clarify these points. So you're understanding perfectly. So we wouldn't be particularly impressed or particularly we wouldn't be endeared to them. We think, what kind of gift is that? But God, who creates everything, he says, just give me a little bit of water and I'll accept it. A fruit, a flower, a little bit of water. We're so important, we would think, hey, water, you just brought me water? What kind of person are you? But he says, you just bring me water. That's the open door policy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as brought forward by Lord Chaitanya, as brought forward by their representatives, and we need to make sure we continue that in our community here. And if we do that, if we practice that, and if we learn more and more about it, then we experience this open door to Krishna. And we experience that actually there's no barriers at all to me in this one short lifetime. It's described even within a moment. We can become fully self-realized, fully God-realized, fully surrendered to Krishna. But the only issue is our desires are a little distracted. But if we take advantage of this open door experience, then gradually our hearts become cleansed more and more and more. And through the knowledge that we acquire, and as our hearts become softened, we start to see the whole world differently. We see the whole world differently, and based on that, we begin to see there's a purpose for this world, a deeper, better purpose for the world. We begin to understand more what's my place in the world, and we begin to see the world is full of opportunities. At every moment, there's an opportunity. At every moment, there's an opportunity to do good for others, do good for ourselves, and help awaken spiritual consciousness and promote this cultural re-spiritualization. So Syama is standing very patiently with a whole bunch of beads, and I think he wanted us to all chant a little bit. Okay? Do you want to explain the chanting a little bit? Or should I say something? You want to say something? Go ahead. She just came back from India, and she didn't even, I think she landed at the airport and came right here directly, which is pretty amazing. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for such an eloquent description of what Krishna consciousness is. As you know, I've been a Krishna devotee all my life, but my mortal fear is that somebody will ask me what is Krishna consciousness, and I won't be able to explain in any logical way. But in the simple ways that you explained, anybody and everybody can have Krishna consciousness in their life very easily. So thank you for describing that so simply and so beautifully. Hare Krishna and welcome to our temple. Today being the start of the harvest season back home in India, it's Pongal, it's Lori, it's so many of the festivals which celebrate that. And so it's a particularly auspicious day to be at the temple. You braved the cold and you came to the temple. That's blessing for our temple, and welcome to our temple. I'm going to give the mic to Shyamji, who will now conduct the chanting.
Thank you, Anujaji. And once again, I think you don't have jet lag for sure, a little bit. So right now I will distribute this mala. And we can tell you how to chant. But in the meantime, is there anybody has one question? We may take two questions.
While you're passing those out, that's a good idea.
While I'm passing,
any questions or comments anybody might have? Yes, Prabhu. Just like one time Prabhu was in the early years of his senior devotees.